Right, in this lesson, we are going to just be talking more about slopes. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to tell me if a slope is positive, negative, zero, or undefined, and you should be able to continue finding the slope. All right, so classifications of lines by slope. This is just to give you, again, like I was drawing the pictures on those other problems, it's just to give you a good idea of what type of answer you should end up with when you're done. Okay, so if I have a line with positive slope, we should, and we've already discussed this before, we should see it increasing from left to right. It's going to go up. So if I drew a picture of that going from left to right, I should see my line going up. And it could be at any point on that spot, but it should go up from left to right. Okay, if a line has a negative slope, so the slope is negative, we should see the line decrease from left to right, or it's going to go down, right? So if I start at the left side of my paper and work to the right, we're going to see that line go down, all right? A line with zero slope, we did see that on another previous example. If the slope is equal to zero, we are going to see a horizontal line. And I'm going to even put underneath that, we're going to see a flat line. So if I started at the left and worked to the right, there's just, whoops, that's supposed to be no slope. I can draw a better line there. So it just has no slope. It's just flat, right? And a line with undefined slope is going to be vertical, because if you think of something that's undefined, you can't do it. And just like I said in one of the previous problems, if I have a vertical line, like if you tried to climb up that line, there's no way that you could do it because gravity would pull you right off of it. So that would be a line with undefined slope. Okay, so in these next examples, without actually finding the slope, we're just going to decide, would the slope be zero, positive, negative, or undefined? Okay, so the first thing, we're going to start with 5, 2. So we're going to go over 5 and up 2. And then we're going to go to the right 3 and down 2. Okay, and then we're going to connect those. Right, and now without even finding the slope, if I were going to start at the left of the line and work to the right, notice I'm headed up. And since I'm headed up, my slope is going to be positive, and that's really all we need to know about it. It's just mostly to get you looking at, before you just go plugging numbers in and getting an answer, what kind of answer should you get. All right, next one, we're going to have 1, negative 3, which is over to the right 1 and down 3. Okay, and then we're going to go over to the right 2 and down 3. And I notice if I connect those, I'm going to get a horizontal line. And I notice since that is a flat line, I will get a slope of 0. All right, and then the next one, negative 4, 6. I'm going to go to the left 4 and up 6. And then 1, 2, I'm going to the right 1 and up 2. If I connect those two, okay, if I work from the left side of my line and go to the right side, I'm noticing that I'm going down. And since I'm going down, I know that my line will have a negative slope. Now, of course, if I found my answers mathematically, I should actually see that that works. But that's, again, just to give us a visual perspective of what's going on with the problem. All right, let's take a look at one that's drawn with a picture. It says to find the slope of the object below. Well, I do notice on this one there are no points, so we can't do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But what we can do is when we learned rise over run. So I'm going to look at the rise. You notice that this ramp is going up 24 inches, so I'm going to put 24. And then divided by the run, how far is this ramp running? This ramp is running 60. So my slope is going to be 24/60. I am going to reduce this, I think. I noticed that 6 will go into both of them. So I'm going to divide both the top and the bottom by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. 60 divided by 6 is 10. And now I still notice that 2 will go into both of those. So if I divide both of those by 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the slope of that ramp is 2/5. And I might need to know that if I wanted to make sure that it wasn't too steep for a dog to go up. We would want to adjust that slope. All right, and then just a few more examples if we want to find the slope of each line. And again, instead of being given points, we're actually being given a picture. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can work this. The first way is if I do have 2 points like that, we can go ahead and make a triangle. So we can make a triangle that looks like that. And then this number would be our rise. And this would be our run. So if I just count, so we've got the slope is equal to the rise over the run. And the rise, I notice, is 1. And the run, if I counted how many that is, would be 3. And the last thing that I need to check from, if I start at the left and move to the right, that line is headed down, so this should be a negative 1/3. Okay, let's do another one, and then I'm going to go back to that example to show you something about it. Okay, this one again, I want to draw a triangle connecting the 2 points. Okay, I know it's going to be rise over run. This vertical is going to be my rise, and the horizontal will be my run. So now for the rise, I'm just going to count 1, 2, that takes up 3 squares, and the run takes up 1 square. So 3 divided by 1 is 3. If I start at the left and move to the right, my line is headed up, so I know it's going to be a positive 3. All right, this next, I'm actually going to go back to example 1 now. Let's say you have a really hard time drawing these triangles. You just are not getting it. We can always go back to the formula. So if I look at these 2 points, this first point is actually the point -1, -1, and the second point is 2, -2. Okay, so if we go back to what we did on the previous video, x1, y1, x2, y2, my slope is equal to y2 minus y1, so it would be -1 minus -1 divided by x2 minus x1, so 2 minus -1, and then change my minuses to plus positives. -2 plus 1 is -1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So notice you get the same answer either way, so it doesn't really matter. Whichever way makes more sense to you is the way that we should do it. Okay, I would suggest on 3 and 4 that you try these on your own and pause the video and then come back when you're done and see how you did on them. Okay, on this one I'm going to go ahead and draw a triangle. Okay, it really doesn't matter if I draw a triangle on this side of the line or on this side, makes no difference at all. I'm going to label my rise and my run, and right over here I'm going to write rise over run, and then on my notice I'm going to count my rise. It's 1, 2, 3 squares, and then my run is 2 squares. And then I do notice that if I'm starting at the left and working to the right, I have to go down, so my slope is going to be a -3/2. Okay, and then if you wanted to work it the other way, let me just get it set up for you. This first point would be -4, 0. The second point would have been -2, -3. So if I did an x1, y1, x2, y2, my slope would have been y2 minus y1. So -3 minus 0 over x2 minus x1, which would have been -2 minus -4. I would have ended up getting -3 over 2. So same answer either way. Okay, the last one, I'm going to draw my triangle this way, although you definitely could have drawn it on top of the line too. It does not matter where you draw your triangle at as long as it connects the 2 points. So I'm going to have rise and run. The rise is what goes up and down, and the run goes sideways. So my slope is rise over run. My rise is 1, 2, 3 squares. My run is again 2 squares, and this time if I start at the left and move to the right, I'm headed up, so it's going to be a +3/2. And again, if I would have worked it the other way, this first point is 0, -3, looks like. And that second point is 2, 0. So if I would have found the slope, the y values would have been 0 minus -3. The x values would have been 2 minus 0. And I do get 3/2. So either way, it works. So hopefully now you, especially by looking at a picture, can tell something about the slope of a line.